All right, so we are here to talk about the OnePlus Buds Pro versus the Sony WF-1000XM4. Now, let me preface this by saying that I'm not just talking about earbuds that I don't have or have never tested. I actually have full reviews for both of these earbuds, and those links are going to be listed in the description box right down below if that's what you're interested, if you want to get more in depth about those earbuds. And also, I do have them right here just as proof because I'm not going to be showing like a bunch of B-roll or anything like that. So I do have the Sony XM4s right here. And then also, we also have the OnePlus Buds Pro right here. So I've got both of them right here in hand. So I've been doing complete testing. As I said, I have complete reviews on both of these available on the channel if you're interested. But let's get started. So OnePlus Buds Pro versus Sony WF-1000XM4. So let's start it first with the comfort, because that's going to be one of the biggest things that's going to make or break a set of earbuds for me personally, and probably for you as well. So on the comfort wise, I'm going to have to give the win here to the OnePlus Buds Pro. They are smaller, they are lighter. The fit is very similar to that of the Apple AirPods Pro. So extremely comfortable. Now, to be clear and to be completely fair, the Sony XM4 are also very comfortable for me personally, but the smaller size and lighter weight of these definitely give them the edge. And if you're somebody with smaller ears, or you're more susceptible to larger earbuds having fitment issues with your ears, then the OnePlus sorry, I use words sometimes. The OnePlus Buds Pro are definitely going to be the better buy for you. So they're definitely much more comfortable. So the win for comfort definitely goes to OnePlus. Now, moving over to the controls themselves. So when we talk about controls, Sony and OnePlus are using two different types of controls, but the win is going to go to Sony. So let me explain. The Sonys are using a standard touch tap control type of a function. They offer you much more customization. On top of that, they also offer you more options. Now, the reason that they really take the win here is more because OnePlus really slipped up. They dropped the football at the 1 yard line, so to speak. They're using squeeze controls, which in and of themselves are really nice. Like, they're actually very tactile. You hit the command, you rarely miss. The problem there is, one, they don't have volume control. They totally left that out. Two, there is very little customization available. Despite the fact that they have an app, they didn't offer us enough customization to really make them fit our own lifestyle or our own personal needs. So it's more that OnePlus messed up versus being the Sony being better. Sony just did a better job by making them more user-friendly, and that's why the win here goes to Sony. Now, let's move over to the battery life. Now, battery life, the win is easily going to go to Sony here. Both of these were tested on the AAC codec to keep things fair. So I didn't use Sony's LDAC and I didn't use OnePlus's LHDC. So I wanted to keep things even and put an even playing field. Now, the Sonys with noise cancellation turned on are getting 9 hours of battery life, and with noise cancellation turned off are getting upwards of 13 hours, where the OnePlus are getting you 4 hours and with noise cancellation turned on, and then 7 hours with noise cancellation turned off. So the Sonys are getting you nearly double the battery life in certain instances. That is pretty wild when it comes to battery, and that's really kind of a sort of a failing of the OnePlus. I think they could have done a little bit better, but if I had to guess, it's maybe because of the smaller size, they can't fit such a large battery, so it does make sense. But it's just one of those things where a win is a win, and we got to call a spade, and Sony definitely wins for battery life. All right, so now let's move over really quick over to the apps, because both of these have apps. Sony has the Sony Headphones app, and OnePlus uses the Hey Melody app. The winner here is Sony. Their app is much more refined, much more well thought out, much further developed, and offers you much more control and customization over your earbuds themselves. I mean, it's not even close. There's so much you can do, including the graphical equalizer, the different sliders for the ambient and active noise cancellation. So there's so many different modes, control customization, all of that stuff. So that's something where Hey Melody kind of needs to sort of step their game up. The Hey Melody app is definitely functional, but there just isn't enough customization in there to really compete with what Sony is offering for their earbuds. So now let's move over to a bit of performance here. So let's talk about the active noise cancellation. Sony is going to take an easy win here, but I want to preface that by saying that Sony is, first of all, they're a much more expensive earbud, But the OnePlus Buds Pro still have strong noise cancellation. They just do not max out the way that the Sonys do. Sonys bring you a much more immersiveness. And not only that, they block out not only a lot of low frequency sound, but a lot of mid frequency sounds as well. So you can actually block out a decent amount of people's voices if you're in a room with a lot of people talking. So the noise cancellation is definitely stronger. Now, to even things up, I did test both of them using SpinFit silicone tips, the CP360, and it sort of evened it out a little bit to kind of make it more of a fair battle, but the Sonys were still superior. And then when we move over to the Sony using their own memory foam tips that add additional passive noise isolation, it only extended Sony's lead a little bit further. Now, also, both of these do offer adaptive noise cancellation, and that's where the earbuds themselves will adapt to your environmental noise, and they both work actually very well. But yeah, Sony here, just based on sheer strength, they definitely take the win for active noise cancellation. So now let's move over to the ambient. So your ambient mode, also known as hear through, also known as transparency mode, whatever you want to call it, it means the exact same thing. That's when you can activate the microphones on your earbuds so that you can hear your surroundings. So for ambient mode, Sony's going to take the win here, and it's for a couple of reasons. So Sony, they have their noise control slider, so you can adjust the strength of the ambient sound. To me, that is super important. Now, with OnePlus, even though the OnePlus have a natural sounding ambient mode, there's a high noise floor on it. So there's that hiss, that like white noise that picks up, and that is a little bit it's a bit bothersome for me personally. So I always found myself, if I was in ambient mode, turning it off and putting them into either off mode or noise canceling mode because it was a little annoying. So that's kind of the problem there. If it had its own slider where you can adjust it up and down, then we could probably mitigate a little bit of that. But Sony, they definitely take the win here for that ambient mode. So now moving over to volume. So that's just sound volume to see, where we at max and stuff like that. OnePlus is going to take the win. They are noticeably louder than the Sony XM4. And mind you, the Sony XM4s aren't quiet earbuds, not by any means. But the OnePlus are probably, I would say, somewhere between 2 and 3 clicks louder. So if I max out the Sony XM4s, that's probably like 85% to 90% of the max volume of the OnePlus Buds. They are noticeably louder. So OnePlus gets the win for the volume itself. Now, moving over to sound quality. For sound quality, it's a bit closer here, but the win is going to go to Sony. It has a much more refined type of sound. It's almost like where the OnePluses are giving you a very deep V sound, big bass, sort of neutral-ish to recessed mids, and then your boosted treble. The Sonys are kind of a little bit less, they're a little more shallow. So you're getting better mid-range, you're getting some nice bass. But to be clear, the OnePlus Buds, if you're just a bass head, and shout out to all my bass heads, if you're a bass head, you're going to want to go with those OnePlus Buds. So it's really going to come down to your own personal preference. But just from listening to both back-to-back using the exact same songs, for sound quality itself overall from multiple genres, the Sonys are definitely going to take the win for sound quality. So now that's going to bring us over to some call quality samples or mic quality samples. So let's play those real quick. It's going to be both indoors and then indoors in a simulated crowd noise environment, and then you can see whether or not they are going to work for you. Let me go ahead and bring that up real quick. All right, so here we have a microphone quality test for the Sony WF-1000XM4. So testing, 1, 2, 3. Obviously, we're in an indoor environment, semi-quiet. So testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, so here we have the microphone quality test for the OnePlus Buds Pro. So testing, 1, 2, 3. Obviously, we are in an indoor environment, semi-quiet. So testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, and here we have the Sony WF-1000XM4 in a simulated crowd noise environment, like a crowded bar or a busy coffee shop, something along those lines. So testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, and here we have the OnePlus Buds Pro in a simulated crowd noise environment. So sort of like a busy bar or maybe a crowded train station, something like that. So testing, 1, 2, 3. As always, you're gonna have to be the judge of the microphone quality down in the comment section. All right. So as you can hear, at least for me personally, I believe that the OnePlus are going to take the win for the microphone quality, at least for me and the kind of needs that I would need them for. But as always, you have to decide for yourself which one is going to work better for you. Now, to kind of conclude this and to sort of wrap it up, the overall winner here is going to be the Sony XM4, just because they are overall the better option. They're winning for many more categories over the OnePlus. But to be clear, they're also $129 more expensive than the OnePlus Buds Pro. And that says a lot, because if the OnePlus Buds Pro can be as competitive as they are at $150 with something that is considered a peak predator in the game, right? A upper echelon, what some consider quote unquote the king of true wireless earbuds, the Sony WF-1000XM4, if these OnePlus can keep up as well as they have, that says a lot for them. That says a lot for how well they perform, especially when it comes to sound, volume, noise cancellation, and things of that nature. Overall, the Sonys do take the win, but it really isn't by much. And that says a lot considering they're $129 more.